Welcome to Scarlet Conversations, a series of mini devotionals for women on the go. We hope these short videos help you connect with the voice and heart of God as we prepare ourselves to transition out of life in lockdown and deeper into lives of mission on the earth.
Well, hi ladies, welcome back to week 2 of this series of Scarlet Conversations. This time we've entitled it Preparing to Cross Over. And we're looking at the life of Moses, and really we're drawing out some things that I think will be helpful for us as we prepare to transition out of this season of lockdown. Last week we set the stage, we set the scene of the story where we have the people of Israel living in the land of Egypt. It's not their land, and they're foreigners in the land. But they've settled there and they're doing well, they're thriving, they're growing. The Bible talks about how they're growing in numbers, they've multiplied. And the powers that be, Pharaoh, he hates this, he's scared of them. He thinks they're too great in number, and if they decided they could turn against us and it would harm our people. So he devises a plan to enslave them, make them work for slave labor, really. And then also the second half of chapter 1, we didn't read last week, but I hope you went away and read, is where the second part of this plan, which is just awful, it's wicked, it's evil and deplorable, where he decides that the way to stem this growth of this people group is to kill off any of their male children. So any babies born male, they're going to murder. It's awful. It's unthinkable. And yet this is the context that the hero of our story, Moses, is born into. The man of the hour is born in a season where he really shouldn't live. So we're going to start chapter 2. I'm going to read from verse 1 right the way through to verse 10. And then you can go ahead and read the rest of the chapter if you want to set us up for next week. It's entitled The Birth of Moses. Now a man from the house of Levi went and took his wife, a Levite woman. The woman conceived and bore a son. And when she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she took for him a basket made of bulrushes and daubed it with bitumen and pitch. She put the child in it and placed it amongst the reeds by the river bank. And his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done to him. Now the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, while her young woman walked beside the river. She saw the basket amongst the reeds and sent her servant woman, and she took it. When she opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby was crying. She took pity on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call you a nurse from the Hebrew woman to nurse the child for you?" And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go." So the girl went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed him. When the child grew older, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, because she said, "I drew him out of the water." What an incredible entry into the world. Can you imagine? Can you imagine birthing a child in the midst of all of this chaos, all of this oppression and murder? Murder is going on around you. The fear and trepidation that you would have, and this overwhelming desire to want to protect your child, that you would do anything. And so you've kept the baby secret for a while until you can't any longer. Anybody that's had a baby will know that they're pretty quiet for the first while. They lull you into a false sense of security, and then they find their lungs, don't they? And they can cry and they can draw attention. And so obviously the baby's got to a certain stage where it's found its lungs. Like there's no way of keeping this a secret at home anymore. You've got to do something to protect this baby. And so can you imagine going to the river and setting your baby in a basket and pushing him off and just hoping, praying, pleading with God, "Please protect my baby. Please, God, do something with my baby." It would be so scary. And yet God shows up in an incredible way. It's almost unbelievable that Pharaoh's daughter finds the baby And then, in a turn of events, sends for Moses' mother to come and nurse her own baby. She doesn't know it's her baby, and to nurse him and to look after him until he's grown. And then Moses' mother brings him back and hands him over, and he's adopted then as Pharaoh's daughter's son. Hard, isn't it? It's hard reading. It's hard to imagine life starting off like that. You know, I remember when I was pregnant and I was riding in a train from Derry, our hometown, to Coleraine, where my husband worked, to meet him. I used to always call that train ride my thin place, because for some reason when I was on the train between Derry and Coleraine, God always spoke to me. He always showed up. Maybe it had something to do with the beauty of nature all around me and the silence of being on my own. But I remember being pregnant, really very heavily pregnant, sitting on the train and just enjoying the moment, enjoying holding onto my bump, enjoying holding and having the sensation of carrying my baby. And I remember having a conversation with God where I said, I really love this part of it, where I'm obviously pregnant and people are, oh, how long have you got to go? You look lovely. Congratulations, you're blooming, all these things. So I was obviously pregnant, but it wasn't actually really difficult yet. Like, I hadn't done anything hard yet. I hadn't pushed the baby out. I didn't have to birth anything yet. I just got to enjoy it, enjoy the season of containment. And I remember God just gently speaking to me and saying, sometimes, Steph, you're like that in the spiritual as well. And I'm a dreamer. Like, that's just who I am. I love to dream. If you leave me alone for long enough, I'll come up with a new idea. It's always dangerous to be around me whenever I use the sentence, you know what would be a good idea? And anyone that knows me well is laughing now, because they'll know I say that often. I love to dream. I love to think of what could be next. What could we do next? But sometimes I'm really hesitant to actually have to do the hard work of birthing those dreams, especially when it feels like it's going to be hard work or kind of dangerous or tough. I love the season of containment. I love holding on to my dreams and keeping them close to me and just getting to hunker down and enjoy and nestle in with it. That's the fun part, isn't it? But actually that day on the train, God really challenged me, because he said, you only think that's the fun part. If you actually pushed through and birthed those dreams and put the hard work in to see those dreams come to fruition, actually you'd get to see them grow. You'd get to see them up walking around with legs. You get to see those dreams live and come to life. And there's so much more joy and beauty in that. And you can imagine Moses' mother being pregnant and thinking, oh, this is such a gift from God. I love being pregnant. How wonderful. But I don't want to push you out. I'm so afraid of what happens next. But I want to encourage you today that we serve and love a God who knows exactly what's coming next. He goes before us and he makes a way where there seems to be no way. And I wanted to just encourage you with this particular point, that surrender is always the safest posture for God dreams. I'm sure when she surrendered her baby into the river, Moses' mother was terrified. But she was surrendering her God dream, her baby, into the hands of a God who is good, who has incredible stuff for your life, and he would love for you to push through the pain barrier of birthing some of those God dreams that we talked about last week, so that you can see them live and have life and grow. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us for this week's Scarlet Conversations. Join us on Tuesday night at the same time as we share a conversation with a special guest that helps unpack and build upon the themes we are exploring together. If you have any questions or thoughts, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you. Until then, God bless.